Alright, welcome back to another video. This one is a little bit different. We're doing a residential computer right now. I don't have my iFixit kit up here, so I'm using this tiny little screwdriver. I definitely should hold on. I have an iFixit screwdriver with my heat pad kit, so. I was looking at the RAM here. The RAM is DDR2. They have 3 gigs of DDR2. This system is currently running Windows, running Windows 7. Actually, no, I need to unscrew all these. I know they have a hard drive in here. So the main thing I'm trying to do at the moment is get the hard drive out. We're going to replace it with a 256 gig SSD, install Windows 10, bring all their files back, and then I'm thinking of ordering some RAM and upgrading them from 3 gigs of RAM to probably 8. It's mainly just for web browsing, but you know, Chrome is pretty resource intensive, so it might be best to do it that way. So I'm trying to figure out where exactly the hard drive is. I think so this is the CD drive, so I'm guessing the hard drive is right over here somewhere. So we're gonna have to take out the rest of these screws as we figure out how this works. So I'm just going to bring ourselves closer in here. So this screw has to take out the disk drive, which we're going to do. Just, one less thing. Oh, it's right here. So we take out these 2 screws. Pop it out, and here it is, the hard drive. It is a 250 gig WD Blue SATA 5400 RPM drive, so it's not even 7200, from 2010. Now, if those are SSDs. We got ourselves a 500 gig WD Blue, 2.5 SSD. We also have a 500 gig Crucial, and then an unknown amount in this. So she is getting a double the storage of an SSD. Oh, there's a screw in here too. There we go. I definitely gotta bulk order some more parts here. Let's see what we have in RAM. I don't think I have any DDR3 or DDR2 on hand. So get 8 gigs of DDR5, and a crap ton of DDR4. So yeah, we do not have any DDR3 or 2 on hand. We only have 4 and 5. A lot of 5. So definitely something that we have to look into getting more of. I don't believe there are any M.2 slots in this machine. Probably way too old. So we'll bring that on. So first things first, we are going to undo the hard drive from the sled here. No, I did tell her that she would get a discount if I still had a decent SSD on hand, which obviously we do. So we're gonna look up them up on eBay and see what they're going for used, and then I'm gonna discount a few dollars off of it, and then that'll be the discount that she gets for this SSD. And then she already paid up front for the OS installation of 120. So all I gotta do is charge her for the SSD and then the RAM if we get her any, which we probably should. Because she wants to use this for a few more years. She's mainly uses it for web browsing, so I definitely want to make sure that it's usable for the well into the foreseeable future. This is being a little bit stubborn here. Alright, let's try that again. There you go, got it. Other things we're doing as part of the upgrade service is we'll also be... Did I not put this in correctly? Yeah, I think I put the SSD in incorrectly. Let me double check here. No, it's incorrectly. Let me just double check again. Give me a second here. Yeah, okay, so the SSD is in backwards. Ah, that's okay. We can quickly just bring it around so that way we're still able to bring it in correctly. There we go. And I still have my label from the last company it was with and the date. This was taken out in June. Wasn't used for super long, so there's still going to be a lot of power on hours left. Sweet. Alright, so let me first of all take off the take that off. Now let's put it back in. Hold on, I think I didn't do it right again. So we want it like this. Okay, so that's right. It's right, I was just putting it in the wrong way. Alright, and then we gotta get the other screw in. Okay. And then, there we go. Now we have to find the hard drive screws and put them back on to lock this back into place. There we go. So definitely in place now. Let's put the disk drive back in now. There we go. All right, now on to the RAM stuff. So let's knock that out of the way. I am going to go look on RAM online and see what we can find. All right, so I have some RAM in my cart on eBay. So we are going to be upgrading her from 3 to 8 gigabytes of RAM. We have the SSD in there. So we are going to bring the battery back in. We're going to keep this open, actually. And now we're going to grab the charger from over here, and we're just going to plug it in real quick just to make sure we're good there. If I can find a cheap enough battery, I might give her a battery upgrade. I gotta see how it is in the BIOS. It's battery life. So she wants to use this pretty much for the rest of her life, and I'm gonna do my best to make sure she can. I forgot to plug in the Windows drive. So hold on a second. Let's run the setup utility first. All right, so system information. So this is a Pentium dual core CPU. Battery sequence. Battery health normal. Let's put the USB storage device first. So now let's apply and exit. Now the system should reboot and give me the ability to boot into this Windows drive. There we go. And then this is the drive that we are bringing everything off of. There isn't a whole lot on here. We're just going to be doing user profile files such as documents, desktop, and downloads, videos. I have a server right next to us booting up over here. But we're going to be migrating this over. We're going to be doing a brand new install of Google, all that fun stuff. We're going to be putting Ninja on here for this residential customer. It's a personal friend and old boss of my mother, so the reason why they get Ninja is precisely for this reason. I'll be handling their support throughout the rest of this time here. All right, so I got an adapter here that will be used to plug in the hard drive here. So we're going to be doing that. We just gotta get Windows loaded on here. So going from a 5400 RPM spinning drive to a SSD, this is Windows Server, not Windows 10. All right, hold on a second. Where's Windows 10? I gotta figure out where my Windows 10 drive is. If we even have one somewhere. Maybe it's, what would be this? Would be this? All right, hold on a second. All right, let's boot up that device. So you know it's not this one. I doubt it's this one, but we'll try that next. Obviously we don't have one. We can quickly make a Windows 10 boot drive, but I know I literally just did it recently. I don't know if this actually boots to anything or not, so we're gonna have to wait a second. Okay, no it does not. Okay, next up we will do this. Should probably start labeling these drives, but we're not quite there yet.
I think I do have my labeler right here though.
So I can at least run this one. Okay, it's booting up a Windows USB, so we'll see which one that is. Let's see, WINSRV19. And we'll do size small, menu, auto length. I don't know how that's gonna work here. Okay, let's see if we can get this to work. I have no idea where my pair of scissors is. And this is just kind of just sitting there. Let's see. Let's put this over here. Oh, okay, it's loading again. Here, let's do this. Well, it's just on the sliding part. There we go. All right, so that would be for 2019. All right, so that's not working. So I'm gonna make a Windows 10 boot drive and come on back. We are getting into the BIOS real quick here. System configuration, ACHI, that's fine. That's fine. All right, security, I don't think we need any of that. Performance, it's fine. Power management, USB wake support, let's add that. Wake on LAN, LAN only. Post behavior, it's fine. Wireless, that's fine. Okay. Let's bring it all the way up here. There we go. This is old. I don't think this has secure boot on it. Yeah, let's look at system information. I want information on the BIOS version. I don't think we have anything. BIOS version A14, so let's take a look. All right, we have the USB ready. It has Windows 10. Given that I actually did this correctly in terms of, oh, I saw it there for a second. I think I messed up here. So yeah, you can see the little underscore up here. So let's restart it and see what happens. Yeah, it happens like for a quick second. So I'll say let's The only USB. I guess we'll let it sit for a minute and see what happens. Only took a second, but now we're back inside Windows. The installation media is working now. I was doing more research online. It sounds like the Pentium isn't officially supported. Okay, I was like, why isn't it showing it? Because I was too zoomed in. Yeah, so the Pentium isn't officially supported. I don't have a product key. We're going to do digital activation later. We're going to do Windows 10 Pro. I don't believe we have any 32-bit versions. So, yeah, we're going to do Windows 10 Pro. I give Pro to everybody. There's really no reason to do Home. Custom. Ooh. All right, now we have to go find the driver for the SSD. So, time to have some fun. Development here. I plugged this SSD into my computer and it wasn't reading. So now I'm under the assumption that the SSD is bad. So we put the crucial one in and that seemed to work just fine. So we're gonna keep the crucial one in and go to work and make sure this one works. Let me just make sure which way it has to go in. So short end this way, like that. Let's get it plugged in here. Hopefully this fixes all of the issues with the drive here. Hopefully it's just the fact that it was a bad SSD and not anything to do with drivers or anything. So let's start it back up and get to work here. All right, let's see if this works this time, shall we? It might take a second, but at least the SSD should be being read at this point in time now. Give it a second. With the possibility of me moving offices, I'm also trying to clean up this office as much as possible so I know what I'm taking with me and what I'm not. Almost every single piece of tech is coming with me. I'm leaving this workbench here just in case I want to work from home some days and not go to the office. But I'm probably going to disassemble this workbench and reassemble it at the office. But I also might just build a whole new workbench that's even bigger, and I might design it a little bit nicer. So that way I can have 2 shelves on top, plus a one of those tool rails on top. Whatever I'm trying to say here. So let's accept the license terms. Couldn't load any drivers. Okay. I was hoping that was gonna fix it. Still nothing. Damn. I thought that was gonna work. All right, let's figure this out. All right, I found out there was a second version of the file online that we downloaded, and that did not work. The driver was in, but there's still no, still nothing there. So let's go driver, storage. Let's try 32 version, nothing there. Okay, let's try it again. 64. Next. I don't know if it's actually installing it or not. Maybe it's not. I'm not sure. Let me see. What sort of hard drives do we have? This is a 5400 RPM 1 terabyte one from 2016. This is a 1 terabyte from, I'm trying to figure out the manufacturer date on this. I'm not seeing one. Alright, let's keep looking. I got a bunch of these ones. Well, that really sucks because let's try getting into the BIOS. Let's get into the BIOS. Let's see if if it's seeing a drive at all. All right, want to do setup utility. Let's see, date, time, that's fine. Wish I could see what was in here. Like, see the device, but I can't. I can try and load into the boot menu and see what happens. No. Sorry, I want to do F12. All right, a complete teardown and put that together later. I was able to like push this in all the way, so it looks like this just was not in all the way. It was literally just working the whole entire time. So at least we have one driver updated. So right now it's just trying to connect to the internet. I put in my password here. This is pretty dirty. I might do a nice little deep clean of it. Probably remove the Windows 7 sticker as well. Now since we are moved to Windows 10, there we go. So it's taken a long time to set up, which is fine. So we're almost done with this. And this will just be sitting on my desk for 3 weeks until my customer gets back from out of state in 3 weeks. So, sweet. So this could probably take a long time, so we're gonna go from there. All right, it's now Friday night, 11 p.m. I just got back from my other job, and I'm still working on this laptop a little bit. I'm trying to get into the whole hard drive via this USB to SATA, so that way I can copy files over. And then we're also trying to get support assist running, so that way I have a second way of getting updates. Looks like it's a 88% and rising, so at least we're getting good there. Still need to get a Windows key. She does not have a Microsoft account, so we're not going to do the digital activation. Or I might just have her sign up while I'm there, just quickly, just so that way we don't have to pay, $20 for a Windows, Pro license. But, things are going pretty well. It's handling, actually semi-decently with only 3 gigs of RAM. It's making me rethink if I should really buy 8 or if I should just buy one 4 gig stick, keep the 2 gigs, so that way there's only 6 gigs in here. So, but since I have 3 weeks, I have like a week to decide to see what's going on. But, if we go in the task manager, even though we're on an SSD, it is still pretty slow because of that Pentium that we have inside here. Even just opening up task manager spikes it up to 100, which obviously Windows 10 is a little bit more demanding than Windows 7. But as you can see, we're sitting at 92% of CPU usage, just, doing a couple things here. And if we, local system is, using 30% of it already. Stuff like user profile service, themes, task scheduler, secondary logon. Stuff that I could probably try and remove, a couple things, but that's besides the point here, because this is a 2 core, 2 thread, no hyper threading, so not even 4 threads on here. You know, if we you know, change the graph to logical, it's only going to show 2 here. So, and I'm actually surprised this isn't loading properly, so I might have to take a look at that. But hopefully once support assist is done, that'll go through, because I feel like one's hanging on the other. So we'll have to go from there. Oh, speaking of which, there we go. All right, so now it's time for me to move all the documents over, so that way I can officially have this done. And then in 3 weeks' time, when she is back from out of state, I can just charge for the SSD, which I have to go grab eBay pricing for, and we'll go from there. So thank you guys for joining me on this little video. I'm gonna be doing a lot more of these little project videos, and just, you know, me doing stuff around the office and doing work and stuff like that. Like we have another video coming up where we are going to be moving the Home Assistant Raspberry Pi back over to the rack. We're going to hardline it with Ethernet, and then we're also going to try and kind of make it nice a little bit, as we're probably also going to open up or get the other Pis turned on and get those in use or something as well. So we'll see you guys for that one.